Reaction Nation, a sports, entertainment, and politics podcast.
What's good, gang? It's your man Zen Master for PTJ, here with another episode of Reaction Nation. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Poetic Flacco about Kevin Hart and his most recent roast on Netflix. I have not watched it. I don't really like Kevin Hart. I've never been a fan of his, to be honest. He's never made me laugh. I never thought he was funny. I always thought he was corny as hell. And now I know why. All right. I'm going to express myself, but we're going to take a listen to what Poetic Flacco had to say about Kevin Hart's recent Breakfast Club interview, in which he tried to make amends for the backlash that he's getting in the community for hosting Kill Tony. Personally, I think it's like us saying the N-word mixed company. We've been doing certain things as a community all wrong. Again, I'll delay my personal opinion for now, but let's go ahead and spin that Poetic Flacco clip.
Kevin Hart just pissed off black people again and reignited the hate mob against them. Now, his response, I personally don't have a problem with. I just don't think it was smart at all to do. He came on specifically to respond back to the recent backlash he was getting, because George Floyd family has made it pretty clear they not rocking with Kevin at all. And they made it clear during an interview with Loren Lorosa when they brought up the Kevin Hart roast, and they brought up how Tony Hinchcliffe during this roast, as well as other roasts, disrespected George Floyd, made fun of George Floyd, made George Floyd a subject of discussion when, George Floyd was not in the room, and a roast is supposed to be a roast of the people in the room. Now, he made this clear while talking to Loren Lorosa, and George Floyd family also did an interview with TMZ.
Thank you for joining me. I feel like we always have to have conversations around these things, so, I apologize for that, but yeah, I think, sometimes the conversations are needed for people to hear from you guys as George Floyd's family firsthand. So yes. I know you had saw some of the comments that we had made at the Breakfast Club.
I just want to say, I also think it's important that we listen to and hear from George's family, those who were affected most by his death. I'd like to hear from his children when they're old enough, and also the people on the scene. I'd love to hear from those people who were on the scene, especially the young woman who filmed it, who is now in her early 20s. I would love to hear from those people in a documentary form. So, Ava DuVernay, Barry Jenkins, somebody with some taste. Don't let Tyler Perry get to it. Y'all go ahead and get this done. Oprah Winfrey, get it done before Tyler Perry gets his hands on it and screws it up.
In response to Tony Hinchcliffe and the George Floyd joke that was, said at the Kevin Hart roast.
You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
What's funny about that? What is funny about a man who is living his life privately, who was murdered by the police with a knee on his neck for 9.5 minutes? What in the world is funny about that? That's not a joke. That's an assault. That's an assault on that man's family. That's an assault on our community that says, ha, 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 we can still kill you in public and laugh in your faces about it. Tell jokes to you. And this little midget we made a damn millionaire is going to smile and laugh right with us. I almost said something.
And you wanted to kind of talk a bit about that. So just let me know, number one, did you watch the roast just as a Kevin Hart fan, or did you hear about it afterward?
I heard about it afterwards, and I understand a roast. Let me just clarify that. I understand a roast, and but from what I understand about a roast is about what you joke about that person specifically. So the reason why I felt kind of uneasy is because I was trying to figure out, what did that have to do? What kind of punchline was that?
Exactly. Roast is about roasting the person who is the topic of the roast. Period, point blank. The roast participants all agree to roast each other as much as they want. Period, point blank. It doesn't leave that inner sanctum. You don't start pulling in political talk. You especially don't drag my community through the mud like that. For anyone who is able to see a man be murdered on video and logically in their mind come up with alternative excuses and alternative solutions to how this man arrived at his death, you're crazy. If you can explain away George Floyd's death as something other than the police kneeling on that man's neck for 9.5 minutes, You're absolutely crazy. You don't live in reality, and you need to go get help immediately. Stop it. You need some help. In the immortal words of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's too much, man. It's too much. We live in a country where we're having our political power stripped from us by the Republican Party methodically in the South. The Confederacy is literally rising again. Black America is living under taxation without representation, the same conditions that beget the American Revolution. So what are we supposed to do? Sit here and laugh while they tell jokes about what they've done to us for 400 years? You niggas better wake up.
Y'all heard me co-sign those sentiments when I made my video on the joke. I just thought, like, how many more opportunities do black folks have to give Tony Hinchcliffe?
Oh, you ass comedians out there. I'm gonna have to bleep that out, but you ass comedians out there selling out your communities for the sake of a joke so you can get that white paycheck. All y'all, every last one of you. I don't care if you go to Dubai or Saudi Arabia. I don't care. I really don't. I care about what happens in this country more than anything, and what happens to my people within this country more than anything else. And I don't find it funny to sit here and joke about the pain that many of us have suffered and have seen others suffer through. We had a young man killed in my little small hometown by the police not 10 years ago. Pittsburgh, Johnny Gamage. We could all sit here and name 10 to 15 people off the top of our head that we know were killed by the police. You can't. It's a problem. Our community has lots of problems, as any community who has been through what ours has been. You don't have the right to sit there and make fun of us after you destroyed us like this. You don't. Let's see what Flacco has to say.
To disrespect us, George Floyd was not in the room. It was a roast of people in the room. He brought up George Floyd because he knew what he was doing. He has brought up George Floyd in every other roast he has done. And that's something the family has also touched on. This man keeps on bringing up George Floyd to disrespect him. He has this weird obsession with George Floyd, and quite frankly, I think the weird obsession comes because he understands that it's gonna piss off black people, and that's his aim when he does these things. He wants to piss off black people. You know, he can't thrive without.
Why? What are we doing to you? What are we doing to you? What? You have everything. You have all the money, all the positions, all the power. What are we doing to you? The harm that we do to ourselves out of self-hatred that was put upon us for hundreds of years. What do we do to you? We've tried to be good Americans. We tried to utilize the system, and every time we do, you move the goalposts. You change the rules. You find another way to exclude us. You redistrict. You gerrymander. You electoral college your way into power. You do everything but have a simple democracy. You lie about your values. You're not Americans.
Because he wants our reaction. And yeah, you know, this time it worked brilliantly, all right? We are calling it out because, you know, at what point is enough is enough? So the brother does speak on that. He does touch on how Tony Hinchcliffe made a George Floyd joke during the Tom Brady roast.
You know, and you know, and I'm gonna speak from my point of view is comedy. A roast is a roast is without that one person. Comedy is to make people, you know, laugh and enjoy themselves. It's not supposed to be where you feel some type of way after you leave the room. You're supposed to leave with healing and happiness, you know, and that wasn't the case. And I'm speaking from my point of view about my brother and from my family, but I'm even gonna go as far as the other topics with Bill Cosby. Those are other people's issues, and you don't know what kind of trauma and tragedy that family was going through. So stick to just who you supposed to be roasted.
I'm gonna say the comedians, the comic world, all fair game. Bill Cosby, fair game. Anyone in public life, fair game. George Floyd was not living a public life. George Floyd became a celebrity at the hands of a police murder. He was not out seeking anyone's attention. He was not doing stand-up comedy. He was just a man trying to recover and live his life and be there for his family, and y'all saw what happened to him.
That's just my feeling on it.
Y'all know how I feel about this. I think I've expressed it pretty clearly. I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of editing on this video, no doubt about that. I said a lot, I meant every word of it. I am tired as a black man in this country. I'm so fucking tired of being under assault every single day of the week. You can't go online and do a damn thing without being hated on or seeing some form of hatred against yourself. And it's just nonstop. It's nonstop. This is why I enjoy the NBA so much. The NBA is like the blackest, coolest bubble in America where I feel protected and valued. And even as a fan, I feel the most warmth as an NBA fan, let's say, as opposed to being an NFL fan. There's really no cultural hubs for us, right? So I guess the point that I'm getting at is that Kevin Hart, what he's done with his career and the way he's built his career through Hollywood has been very commercial and commercially successful. And he's largely done it on degrading stereotypes. He's largely done it on large projects. And now he's doing it through Netflix at a time when Black issues are paramount. And as Kevin Hart's power has apexed, we're now looking at a man who's seeking more power. And a lot like Drake and others in the quote unquote Black community, if y'all want to include Drake in the Black community, they're flirting with that right wing side of things. And Tony Hinchcliffe represents that right wing side of things. There is no way on earth I would invite Tony Hinchcliffe to any function that I was having. No way on earth. And from what I understand, Kevin Hart was contractually obligated essentially to invite Tony Hinchcliffe to this shindig. I also understand that most of the writers of this roast were white, and the lack of consideration for the communities involved. All right, the African American community lost someone to police violence. I'm not even going to mention the other violent joke because I don't care about that person one bit. But we lost someone to police violence, and it doesn't matter how you value him. You can call him a junkie, you can call him a fentanyl addict, all those things, whatever, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he was a man who deserved his American rights and due process. He didn't deserve to be kneeled on like some rabid dog on a curb in a sidewalk in public while people just stared and stood around and didn't help him. We literally all watched this man be murdered for 3/4 of an NBA quarter. 9.5 minutes is 3/4 of an NBA quarter. That's how long he had his knee on that man's neck. And you're never going to convince me that anything in this world killed him or should have killed him that day for allegedly passing a fake $20 bill. There's nothing to joke about. Only an evil racist would ever consider joking about what happened to George Floyd. Would I joke about an evil racist death? Yeah, I would. I absolutely would, because they're opposition to humanity. They're exactly the opposite of what we should be. So yeah, I would joke about their deaths. Would I do it in public, in front of their families? At an irrelevant time? No. Would I hold on to it for 6 years as if it was some trophy? No. Would I be anxious? No, I wouldn't be anxious to do it. I might tell the joke in private, but have some respect. Your community has everything, and you've stolen it all from us. This is your man Zen Master for Pass the Joint Podcast with another Reaction Nation. Make sure you head over to Poetic Flacco's YouTube channel and subscribe and check out the rest of that video. We don't like plagiarism around here. I got a lot of editing to do, and no doubt the Spurs and the Thunder are back on. So I'm going to salute you, the Game Gang, and we'll see you on the next go round. Peace.